U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. It can certainly get loud inside this building. And just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with the Chicago Bears. Fielded in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
Sometimes the volume, clean formula that's cruelty-free and vegan works for me, works for us, works for the planet. New Lash Blast, the clean mascara that works from CoverGirl.
When we finished, it's best to remain calm. Clearly, this room was hard on the force.
Win the night with Meat Delivery. Now try the all-new crispy chicken sandwiches.
They'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. First carry now for Kareem Hunt. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers are coming a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
No gain on the play.
Exactly that.
Makes it 3rd and 2.
Line versus defensive line, and it's one-on-one.
An early test, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2.
When you play in tight spaces all the time, so you'll see
from the shotgun, it's Cousins. Looking deep downfield. That goal is made. A big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That goes as a gain of 37 on 3rd down.
Brandon, we've been around the game long enough that we know that pregame defenses are pretty amped up, aren't they? I mean, they're pounding lockers and they can't wait to get out there. But when you hit them with some big pass plays early, it takes a start right now.
And so really, right now, to me, this is the opposite
on first down, they'll run with Hunt.
For Missouri to take the next step.
Kareem Hunt with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. Once you get Kareem Hunt in the open field, look out. He's got speed to burn, and he's showing off the wheels on that one. Dan Bailey now for the extra point.
And then we have a quarterback that can win, and then you move.
He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead.
Vikings 7, Bears nothing.
In a bad spot as he tried to draw the charge. No whistle was blown, and then it was just trying not to get stepped on. That's a nightmare situation. You don't get the charge call, and then you're just
the kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
David Kelly eventually was the one who
takes this about 5 yards deep.
Nobody thought to how Walker can't finish.
And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy there at the 24.
The turnaround doesn't go that time, but Goliath, that's in our arsenal. Exactly right. That's what Goliath is in there to do as a true freshman. Use her size, get some rebounds on the weak side.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 24.
Some contact, sliding on the way, makes it.
Trubisky now on the keeper. Nifty juke there.
Not much fun.
Happy with that one from
only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
North Carolina gets
No
back
doubt
in
about it.
Jordan
Really
Lewis
nice job there
goes
by
to
the
work
defense,
and
not
has an
allowing
answer
him to
on
get
the
to the
other end.
perimeter. Well, that means your defensive ends, your outside
Look
linebackers, the
right,
guys that you pay
use
big
your
money to
eyes,
sack the
look right, look
quarterback.
left, very
They
quick,
also have to have
first
interest in the
step,
running
and then
game as
great
well.
finish
They
with
did a
it.
nice job there, holding the point of
Career
attack
high
and not
now
giving
for
ground.
Jordan Lewis, 29 points.
Again, Trubisky will hold on to it. Quick pass out to Miller. Now he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
To lead the way for Alabama. Casual 30 piece at noon on a Monday. No big deal for Jordan Lewis.
From the gun, it's Trubisky. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. If you want a lesson on how to defeat an offensive tackle, that was pretty textbook.
Is that a clip and save? Yeah, that's where he's going to go around the league, and people are going to watch that and say, my goodness, that's how you do it. And I feel awful for the offensive tackle because we always talk about the athleticism of that guy who just beat him. Well, you have to be athletic to try and block that guy. Just in this case, the defense won.
A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10.
Second all-time.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion in the field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive. Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Where's my defender? Where's my defender?
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook.
Transition. Lost to knock that down.
He's free going down the left side. It's a Dalvin Cook, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. Boy, Dalvin Cook just so explosive in the open field. He's not a small guy either, but once he gets those legs churning, look out.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards and just give me a second.
Setting out to kick this one away, and off it goes.
Yeah.
Patterson will not return it. It comes out to the 25.
25-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll begin by running the option. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work. Kind of like if you're trying to be a comedian on open mic night at the Improv and you run into a tough crowd.
Pressure comes and Trubisky goes down.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Now Trubisky on 3rd and long. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Returning, it's Benjamin. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
3rd and 2.
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. They'll try to run for the 1st down with Hunt. And this is going to depend on the spot, but I believe he might be a few inches short. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down.
That's good for the Minnesota Vikings. First and 10 at the 42-yard line.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
14. Bears nothing.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to give a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Kyle Rudolph, his second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
Bailey got the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Takes this about 5 yards deep, and Patterson will not return it. It comes out to the 25.
25-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And out across midfield down to the 45. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
He's got the first down here inside the 30. Touchdown, Chicago! Darnell Mooney, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Bears get a bit closer. So that run there, yeah, I don't know if it's overstating things to call it a thing of beauty, but in terms of football plays, that's as good as you're going to see. Santos able to tack on the extra point, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Taken in the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
Vikings take over first and 10.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Brings up 2nd and 3.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. On the run, this is Hunt. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he will have a Vikings first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1.
3rd and 1, who you going to call? Not the scat back. You go with the big man. Hand him the ball and let him get upfield and pick up a first down.
On first down, Hunt. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll try to throw now. Cousins. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Khalil Mack in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Two minutes remaining in this first half. For football. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13. 2 first downs have him up to the 41 now for 1st and 10. Running with Hunt here out of the shotgun. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle, feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson. There he goes left side. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown.
Lining up for the extra point.
Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Fielded in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
On the return, the Vikings take over 1st and 10.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And still plenty of time remaining here in the half, more than a minute. And we'll see if they just want to protect that lead or try to add on to it.
Well, with as much time as is left on the clock, I would imagine it would be the latter. I think they're going to try and add on to it. So what they're going to tell the team is very simply, if you can get out of bounds after making a play downfield, terrific. If you can't, everyone hustle to the line of scrimmage, either run another play or clock it and start over again.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. And that's going to be incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. Gets this to Kareem Hunt, his running back. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. Out of the gun, they run it with Hunt. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Now the Bears will use their 3rd and final timeout, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. And in their own territory, needing only a few inches, they're going to line up to go for this thing on 4th down. Now movement and a whistle, and they may have to rethink their plans on 4th down. A 5-yard loss there is going to bring up 4th down. Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42, and the Bears take over
at their own 24-yard line.
A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Trubisky. And that'll be incomplete. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. But it's going to be 2nd down. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over in your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
Being chased out left. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left.
Incomplete.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Chicago. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Now Benjamin. A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Bears going to see the football first, and they trail here as we get back underway to start this second half. And this carries into the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 22. And he'll throw right away. The screen pass here to Cohen. And he'll lose yardage here back to the 15. So that one a disaster, a big loss there with 2nd down coming up. Now it's Trubisky. He completes this into the hands of Miller. And he is out of bounds right around the 34. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a 3rd here, and it's good for a 1st. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A shotgun handoff to Patterson. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
31-yard line.
Here's Trubisky. steps away to his left. He'll run it, and he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
On third down, Trubisky. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's fourth down. The Bears are going to come up empty on this first drive of the second half, still down by that slim margin.
Yeah, and that's okay. You know, when you sit and analyze it, they're not happy about what happened, having to go to the bench. But this gives them a chance to let their defense do some work, while they on the sidelines go over what they're doing offensively and formulate a proper plan.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week on our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now.
Eddie Goldman on the tackle, a huge man, hard to move out of the way. He's in his 6th year with the Bears out of Florida State.
And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. And maybe some indecision on getting the punt team out there, and they're going to get a delay. Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And it'll be 1st and 10 Bears from deep in their own territory. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 15. Off of play action, he'll look to throw. He'll buy some time right. Danielle Hunter able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Now that after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Now Trubisky back into his end zone. And this is going to be a safety as Trubisky gets swallowed up in the end zone. So troubles here offensively. I tell you, the noise in this dome, that has got to make it harder for these guys to hear.
Sometimes I find myself shouting up here. But you're right. If you can't communicate well or get off the snap count properly, it can cause big problems. And this qualifies as a big problem.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. From the gun, here's Cousins. He'll get this one underneath to Hunt. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Hunt. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Now 3rd.
We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
14.
The Vikings on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This will be 3rd and 5. Here's Hunt. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
They run for it with Hunt. He's got the first down here inside the 30.
Showtime!
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Kareem Hunt, his 2nd touchdown of the game, 17th on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
So they kept it on the ground, got it into the end zone. But Charles, sometimes you probably see teams treat a 2-point conversion differently than if it was 1st and goal from the 2, or I should say 3rd and goal from the 2.
I agree with you totally on that. A lot of teams treat it as if they have farther to go and shy away from running the football. I think this is a great spot to do it because most teams play you for the pass. Go ahead and run and let your linemen surge and fire out.
At their own 24-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And after all those wins that they've reeled off, it seems that they finally have met their match in a big 4th quarter hole. But still, what a run it's been. It feels like they have not lost in forever. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. From the shotgun is Trubisky. Buying time to his left. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. Flushed out right. He may try and run for this. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down. Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. Trubisky will throw. Lets this one rip toward Graham. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well. Incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Trubisky to throw. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it. What we just saw there, that's really been a common theme all afternoon.
A lot of pressure. That forced the errant pass. He's been under duress this entire afternoon. He just had to unload that one. He's fortunate it was just incomplete and not intercepted.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Trubisky. And that is incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
They'll try and throw for it with Trubisky. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Sheldon Richardson, and it'll be a turnover on downs. 1st and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. This is Hunt. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they got it going today.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. Back to the ground, this time Cook. And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line. 8 yards on the run, and that cuts us down to a 3rd and about 5.
It's a gain of 8. Makes it 3rd and 5.
Now a toss running left, Hunt. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 3rd and medium, they opted to run instead of pass, and it worked. 1st down. It carries like that. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Tashawn Gibson there on the tackle.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
On 3rd down, here's Hunt. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. throw. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. They'll run. This is Hunt. Call it a 4-yard pickup, but it leaves them a few inches short here on 4th down. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They'll try and run for it. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Punching it in from a yard away. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead.
Well, this is long since over, and some might see this as overkill. But remember, this is a team that puts on the hard hats, grabs the lunch pail, and tells everyone, we're going to give you a full 60 minutes. And that's exactly how they're playing this one out.
Extra point up and good by Bailey. And the lead is now 24. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And certainly starting to appear that they might finally be about to suffer that first loss of the season. What a heck of a run through 3 months, though, but they trail big here. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for Minnesota, the final 2 weeks are going to tell the story for them as they move to 9-5 with the win. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for the Bears, this was basically just an exhibition game for them as they'd already clinched home field advantage. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Jaguars in Jacksonville.
I use a dub, I'ma win, I won't lose with this. Yeah, I'ma act a fool with this. Yeah, I'ma act a fool with this. Yeah, I'ma act a fool with this. I turn the knob, camera system incredible. Yeah, came for the dollars, call it vegetable. Then I did the